My name is Ron. Today we're going to demonstrate how to make scratch biscuits. Should have them ready in about 20 minutes. First things first, we're going to get our preparation area set up. I use wax paper and just simply cut off about maybe 1.5 feet of wax paper, and then we'll dampen our area where the wax paper goes so it doesn't slip and slide all over the place. Very easy. Okay, we have that. Now our next operation is before we get started, make sure we have our oven on. We'll preheat our oven 425 degrees. We'll have the rack in the middle, so we have that all ready. So 425 degrees, and we'll bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes. We'll see how things go here. We're going to be needing about 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So let's get our prep area all set up. We'll get just a little bit of a flour, and on my sifter we'll just spread around some flour and get that all ready. And now let's get our mixing bowl. I like metal. You can use plastic, it's fine, but I'm a big metal mixing bowl fan. Now we're going to put in about 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that we're going to add a heaping tablespoon of baking powder, and to that just maybe about 1/4 teaspoon or so of baking soda, and about maybe 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We have that all set up, and now we'll sift it. And okay, it's all sifted, and we'll get our pastry cutter. You can use a fork. I mean, you can use your hands if you want, but I like to use these pastry cutters to cut it in the butter. Speaking of which, be right with you, and I'll get some butter for us. Okay, we have our cold butter, and I want to emphasize the butter. That's really important. Some people use shortening, some people have tried margarine. I have no success with either one of them. But butter tastes really, really good in biscuits, so we'll get that away. Now you notice I'm not cutting it, perfect slices. I'm just putting in chunks. Use about half a stick of butter, and let's get our pastry cutter. Now after we get our pastry cutter, I'm going to be adding about 2/3 cup of milk. I've taken the liberty of putting about 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in my cup, and I'll put about 2/3 cup of milk. Let that go to room temperature. It's fine, or half an hour. Room temperature, half an hour, whatever. But we're just going to get it nice and thick. It's almost like buttermilk. I've used buttermilk in the past, but I really can't see any difference between buttermilk and vinegar and milk. It's same thing to me. My family loves it. No complaints from them. Excuse me just a second. We'll put that in the sink. And now for the milk. You can see I've got about 2/3 cup of milk, and it's a little on the thick side. That's fine. We put that away. Now these biscuits are really, really good, but the butter in them makes them just so much better. Now my batter is a little on the wet side, so I mean that's not a big thing. All we have to do is just add a little bit more flour, and maybe maybe 1/2 cup or whatever. We'll just throw that in there, and we want the batter at a certain consistency. Don't want it too dry, don't want it too wet. Now that looks so much better. Okay, that's what we want to. That's kind of what we want to see. Nice and sticky, almost like a glue. Okay, we'll throw this on our work surface. that aside. Now it's a good idea to, since we're going to be working with this sticky stuff, put a little bit of flour on your hands, and you'll be able to move this stuff around. I like to fold when I'm kneading, just fold them on each other. See how that's done? And you want to be nice and gentle with it. Don't be really rough. I've seen some people use a rolling pin, and I tried that once, but I was not successful. So a lesson learned. I did that no more. Now my can, this is just a regular soup can. It's been nice and cleaned and dried. We're going to press it down. We're not going to twist, just press it down. And we'll take the biscuit dough, put on our baking sheet. I like to use a dark baking sheet. There's some people going to use the ones that are, let's say, almost silver. That's fine too. But now you can see that the biscuits are not round. That's not a big thing. And rather than throwing the little parts away, it's dough. It'll bake. Trust me, they'll disappear. Okay, now let's just put this in our preheated oven. We'll keep an eye on our time. Right now, I have 12:34, so we'll take a look at it in about 8 minutes, and we'll be right back.
Going.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to get the biscuits out of the oven. We'll be putting them on a platter. As you can see, golden brown. And they're going to be really tasty. They smell great, of course. But let's put them on our platter. Good idea to go ahead and put them immediately on a platter or a plate. That way, the baking dish or the baking pan is still baking them. So let's get that right out of the way. And there's our biscuits. We have the recipe all set up. And we're going to go ahead and scan that. We'll put that in there, and you can pause your video, put all your ingredients in there. And while we're doing that, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you like it, and we'll see if we can have any more future recipes. I have some dynamite Buckeye candy, so stay tuned. Have a good day.